In a small village nestled between green hills and a winding river, there lived a young woman named Amina. She had bright eyes and a warm smile that made everyone feel welcome. Amina wasn't rich, but she was rich in kindness. Every morning she woke up early, picked fruits from her small garden, and carried them to the village market in a woven basket. Her mangoes were juicy, her oranges sweet, and people loved buying from her because she always greeted them with a cheerful, "Good morning." Far away, in a grand city of tall buildings and busy streets, lived Kofi, the son of President Musa. Kofi was tall and handsome, with a thoughtful look in his eyes. He lived in a palace with golden gates and soft beds, but he wasn't happy. The girls who came to meet him only cared about his wealth and his title. "Marry me, Prince Kofi," they'd say, batting their eyelashes. But Kofi wanted more. He wanted a wife who loved him for who he was inside, not for what he owned. So, one day, he made a bold decision. "I'll disguise myself as a beggar," he told himself. "I'll travel to the villages and see who is kind to me when I have nothing. That's how I'll find my true wife." Kofi took off his fine clothes, rubbed dirt on his face, and dressed in torn rags. He left the palace quietly, telling only his father where he was going. President Musa, a stern man with a gray beard, shook his head. "Be careful, my son. The world is full of tricks." But Kofi smiled and promised he'd return soon. The sun was high when Kofi reached Amina's village. The market was alive with noise. Women bargaining, children laughing, and goats bleating. Kofi shuffled through the crowd, his stomach growling on purpose to sound hungry. He held out his hands and said in a weak voice, "Please, good people. I have no food. Can you help me?" Most people ignored him. Some waved him away. "Go work like us," one man shouted. "Stop begging," said a woman carrying a heavy basket. Kofi felt sad, but he kept walking. Then he saw Amina. She stood behind her fruit stall, wiping sweat from her forehead. Her basket was full of bright oranges and yellow mangoes. Kofi limped over to her and said, "Kind lady, I'm hungry. Can you spare something?" Amina looked at him. His clothes were dirty, his face tired. But she didn't turn away. Instead, she picked up a mango and handed it to him. "Here," she said, "you need this more than I do." Kofi took the mango and bit into it. Juice dripped down his chin, and he smiled. "Thank you," he said. "You're different from the others." "What's your name?" "I'm Amina," she replied. "And you?" "I'm Kojo," he lied, picking a name quickly. "Kojo the beggar." "Well, Kojo, take care of yourself," Amina said. "Come back if you're hungry again." Kofi nodded and walked away, his heart beating fast. Amina didn't know it, but she had just passed his first test. She was kind without asking for anything in return. He decided to watch her more. That evening, Amina returned home to her small mud house with a thatched roof. Her mother, Mama Zuri, was waiting inside, peeling yams for dinner. Mama Zuri was a strong woman with gray hair tied in a scarf. She loved Amina, but worried about her soft heart. "Why did you give that beggar a mango today?" Mama Zuri asked, her knife slicing through the yam. Amina sat down beside her. "He was hungry, Mama. I had extra. It felt right." Mama Zuri sighed. "You're too soft, child. Beggars take and never give back. We're not rich. We need every mango." "I know," Amina said, "but Father taught me to help others." "Remember how he used to share his fish with the neighbors?" Mama Zuri's face softened. Amina's father had been a fisherman, a good man who died years ago. "Yes," she said quietly. "He was kind, like you. But the times are hard now." Amina smiled. "I'll be fine, Mama. Helping makes me happy." Just then there was a knock at the door. Amina opened it and saw the beggar, Kofi, standing there. "Hello," he said. "It's me, Kojo. I'm still hungry. Can you help me again?" Mama Zuri frowned, but Amina waved him inside. "Sit," she said, pointing to a stool. She took a boiled yam from the pot and gave it to him. "Eat this." "Thank you," Kofi said, taking the yam. He ate slowly, watching Amina. Why are you so kind to me? My father taught me to care for others, Amina said. He's gone now, but I keep his words in my heart. Your father was wise, Kofi said. I wish I could repay you. You don't need to, Amina replied. Just be well. Kofi finished eating and stood up. Thank you, Amina. I won't forget this. Then he left, disappearing into the night. Mama Zuri shook her head. That beggar will keep coming back now, she warned. Maybe, Amina said. But that's okay. Back at the palace, Kofi washed off the dirt and put on his fine clothes again. He went to his father, who was sitting on a big chair, reading papers. Father, Kofi said, I've been to a village. I met a girl named Amina. She gave me food when I was a beggar. You know who I was? President Musa looked up. A village girl? Kofi, you're my son. You need a wife from a good family. I don't want that, Kofi said. I want someone with a good heart. Amina is special. President Musa said. And what if she only likes you for your money once she knows who you are? I'll test her more, Kofi replied. I'll go back tomorrow. Be wise, my son, President Musa said. Love is not a game. But Kofi had made up his mind. He wanted to see Amina again. The next day, Kofi returned to the market as the beggar. Amina was there, selling her fruits as usual. She saw him and waved. Kojo, you're back. Yes, he said, sitting near her stall. Amina, I have a question. If a rich man loved you, would you marry him? Amina thought for a moment. Money is nice, she said, but I'd marry someone kind and honest. Rich or poor, it doesn't matter. What if he was a prince? Kofi asked, his eyes sparkling. Amina laughed. A prince? I'd still want him to be good. Fancy titles don't feed the heart. Kofi smiled. You're special, Amina. Thank you for everything. He left the market, his heart full. Amina didn't care about wealth or power. She cared about people. He knew she was the one. That night, Kofi told his father everything. Amina is the one I want to marry, he said. She's kind and strong. She helped me without knowing who I was. President Musa rubbed his beard. A village girl as my daughter-in-law. I need to meet her first. Bring her here. The next morning, Kofi dressed in his finest clothes, silk robes, and a gold chain. He rode to the village in his shiny car, something the people had never seen before. When he reached the market, everyone stared. Amina was at her stall, wiping her hands on her apron. Hello, Amina, Kofi said, stepping out of the car. She looked at him confused. Hello, sir. Do I know you? You do, Kofi said. I was Kojo, the beggar, but my real name is Kofi. I'm the president's son. Amina's eyes went wide. What? You... a prince? Why did you trick me? I wasn't tricking you, Kofi said. I wanted to find a wife with a good heart. You helped me when I was nothing. You're the one I've been looking for. The village people gathered around, whispering. Amina and a prince, they said. Impossible. Amina took a deep breath. I don't understand. Why me? Because you're kind, Kofi said. Will you come with me to meet my father? I want you to be my wife. Amina looked at her basket, then at Kofi. If you're still the man I helped, the one with a good heart, then yes. The crowd cheered. Kofi took her hand and they climbed into the car together. At the palace, President Musa waited. When Amina walked in wearing her simple dress, he raised an eyebrow. This is the girl? He asked Kofi. Yes, Kofi said. Watch her. President Musa called a servant. Bring food, he said. Then he turned to Amina. Sit. Eat with us. Amina sat, nervous. When the food came, plates of rice, chicken, and fruit, she took a little. Then she noticed a young servant girl standing nearby, looking hungry. Amina smiled and handed her a piece of bread. Here, she said. You look like you need this. President Musa watched and nodded. She's kind, he said to Kofi. You were right. I told you, Kofi said, grinning. Amina, President Musa said. My son loves you. Will you marry him? Amina looked at Kofi, then at the president. If he stays kind and true, yes, she said. President Musa laughed. Good answer. Welcome to our family. A week later, the village and the city came together for a huge wedding. Amina wore a white dress with flowers in her hair, and Kofi stood beside her, proud and happy. Mama Zuri cried tears of joy, and the village people danced all night. After the wedding, Amina didn't forget her roots. She brought food and clothes to the village often, helping everyone she could. Kofi joined her, and together they built a school for the children. Years passed, and Amina and Kofi had a daughter named Zuri, after Mama Zuri. She grew up with her mother's kindness and her father's courage. The people loved them, and the story of the beggar who found his princess spread far and wide. And so, Amina, who helped a stranger not knowing he was a prince, became a princess herself, not just in title, but in her heart, and they lived happily ever after.